You're watching the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast. Now here's your hosts, Tom, Nick, and Dave. It's you, it's me, it's N.R.D. It's you, it's me, it's N.R.D. Uh-huh. Let's start the show.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. It is you, it is T, it is D. Welcome to the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast. If you're new here and you haven't already done so, hit subscribe, give us a like, leave us a comment that you're watching the show. If it's your first time, your 207th time, we're happy you're here. It's New Year's Eve, everyone. We're counting down. We're counting down to 2025, in which will be our 4-year anniversary.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think we started in 2021. Yeah, we started in 2021. Yeah, like
I
that.
have no idea.
Pretty wild. So yeah, we'll be coming out with our 4-year anniversary soon, where we rank all the brawlers. So first of all, big year for the broadcast. We hit 1,000 subscribers, which is pretty fucking wild. So thank you to that.
Pretty wild. Awesome. Big year.
Pretty good year for us. So still Barry Horowitz. Now here's some bad news, folks. I went to New York City yesterday. We were recording this on Sunday, December 29th. Myself, my wife, my brother-in-law, and his wife went to go see Hadestown, a Broadway show in New York City.
Oh, Hades sounds good.
I mean, I'm not a big Broadway musical guy. Excuse me. But here's my problem. There is a reason, or maybe not a reason, but if you ever notice, growing up, theater kids and jocks didn't get along, right? I think theater kids got their revenge by the way they built theaters for Broadway shows, because I am 6'1", and my knees were in the next person's neck.
You're
When I tell you, literally, what's that?
Never mind.
Like, quite literally. Let me see if I have this picture, because I sent it to my family. Let me make sure that I don't have the rotating screen on here. But yeah, so here's a picture of my leg. This is a little graphic here almost. Here's my legs on the seat.
Yeah.
Like, my right foot was not hitting the ground. I couldn't get in there. And I'm like, wow. I literally cramped up my leg with like 10 minutes to go in the first act. I like had to swing that leg out as best I could to straighten it out. It was so my calf still hurts today. So
Hades sounds good musical, dude. The guy who played
it was good musical. People were great singers.
When I saw it, the guy who played Hades had like the deepest voice in history.
Oh yeah.
And
it was incredible.
For lack of better terms, my pants got tight.
Yeah, no, it was very good. But so that leads me to ask you this, Tom. What is the most uncomfortable venue you've ever sat and watched a wrestling show in?
The Rahway Rec Center.
Oh?
Here's why. It was an indie show in Rahway, New Jersey. The only reason it was uncomfortable, I at the time I was relatively new to indie shows. It was a WrestlePro show. I didn't know a lot of the wrestlers. So, like, I'm asking people around me, like, oh, who is this guy? And that Fala Bog guy came out. And I'm like, oh, who is he? And it's like, oh, it's Yokozuna. And, like, all the fans were, like, being D-bags. But here's why it was uncomfortable. It smelled like hot dogs and virginity. It was
Ode to Indie Wrestling from Aeropostale.
It was so, like, moist inside. And it just smelled so bad that I was so I left 3 times to go get fresh air.
Oh, man.
It was disgusting. The seats were fine. I mean, it was regular bleachers for like a rec center for a basketball court.
Yeah.
Physically comfortable. The odor and the atmosphere was not it. The wrestling was awesome. They had a cage match. Ooh. And one of the walls of the cage fell. So all the wrestlers ran out and held it up.
Section B is getting refunds for sure.
Oh, for sure. Cole Cabana was there.
Cole Cabana was he holding up the ring?
No, Cole Cabana was there. That was when Flip Gordon got his contract to go in All In, the original All In.
Oh, that's awesome.
Brandy Rhodes was there, and Bernard the Business Bear was there.
Oh, fucking Bernard. Speaking, but so yes, let us know in the comments who you think, or what is the worst venue you've ever watched a wrestling show in. I'd love to know. I've seen it at a baseball game, at a baseball stadium, where I stood on the stairs the entire time because it was in a bar in left field. It was really cool though. I had like an elevated kind of balcony view.
Yeah,
it was pretty great, and the wrestlers come down the stairs as they're making their way. It was awesome. So yeah, that was not the worst, but so yeah, let us know where what's the worst place you ever watched wrestling. Also, because you have one day left, you need to vote, people. And no, not for the general election. We're not talking politics on this show. We're talking Micro Brawler of the Year. That's right, folks. Next week it is the 4th annual Herald Awards, and Micro Brawler of the Year is one of the coveted categories. I only have 3 of them in hand. I should have.
I have none.
I don't know where I put the David Arquette one. But so these are 3 of the 5 nominees. Tom, Nick, Harold, Gerald, myself came together. We picked out 5 brawlers, and then we put it on Facebook. Facebook.com/WNRD. What's that?
Julia Hart's in the lead.
She's got a solid lead. Julia Hart Chase is one of the options, as well as David Arquette Common, along with the Mountie, Max Moon, and Excalibur. So make sure you vote if you haven't already done so in that.
I can't believe that Excalibur has only gotten 8 votes.
I think the problem is that you can't see down. Like when you look at it on Facebook, it just shows you the first 4, and you have to click see more options, and then Excalibur pops up. I mean, Julia Hart is a good brawler. I don't think it's a brawler of the year. That's just me. But I also think we have a lot of people in that group that are obsessed with women brawlers. So even though most of them come out looking like shit, I'm sorry, they just do.
They do.
So that's that. So yeah, if you haven't already done so, make sure you vote for the Mike Brawler of the Year. That is going to be for next week with the Herald. And when next week airs, it'll be 2025, which means it's time for bold predictions, folks, or prediction.
Also,
and you know what? Tom,
before we do it.
Okay.
Have you heard from Harold?
No, but I really hope he pops up. I mean, it's his award show.
Yeah.
We gave him the courtesy of naming the award show after him.
I'm getting a little worried. I haven't heard from him. So
who's going to be the 2024 Don Wilson Big Win of the Year award winner?
It can't be Danielle again.
I mean, it could be. Could be me.
It won't be you.
I mean, technically, although I split the honor, I didn't win it. So technically, I am still eligible. Just saying.
You're not getting it.
I should get it. I got married this year.
Yeah, that's fine.
I paid for a hotel for you.
I did the opposite of that this year.
It happens. But so bold predictions. I don't even know if these are really bold predictions. They're not even bold predictions. They're just ideas I have. Some of these I don't even want to see.
Yeah.
So, Tom, I want you to rank these predictions for 2025, 1 through 5, based on how likely they are to happen. Okay?
Yep. Let me grab my notepad.
Okay.
And we're doing typical blind ranking, like you don't.
I got 5 for you. Yep. But you will tell me what the ranking is before we go on to the next one.
Okay. I'm ready.
All right. John Cena wins his 17th world title this year.
Is this WrestleMania is it for him, right?
I'm not saying when.
Yeah, but this year is it for him, right?
This year is it. He said he's going January to December.
I think that might actually happen. I'm going to say 3.
Okay.
I think that's pretty likely, but I don't. But here's the thing. Here's why I only put it at 3. Because I do think John Cena is a good dude.
Yep.
And I don't think he needs to win the title. Would that put him over Flair?
Yes.
Oh, then 2.
Moving it up to 2.
I actually think that that's pretty likely.
Okay. If it happens at SummerSlam is at MetLife Stadium this summer. And I told Danielle, I was like, listen, I go to Yankees opening day every year. The only other thing that I'm spending money on, a significant amount of money, is SummerSlam to see John Cena one more time. Like, that's my guy.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
will fucking break the bank. I'm not spending World Series money, but
when is it?
beginning of August. I want to
Okay.
say August 5th and 6th, stand out in my head or something like that.
Buy me a ticket.
But you should come on out. Just saying.
Buy me a ticket. I'll take care of my travel.
Okay.
There you go, patrons. There you go, nerds.
There you go, patrons.
Go send me money so I can go see Dave.
Okay. So we've got John Cena wins his 17th world title. Next up, Rock versus Roman Reigns. Again, at any point. Could it be SummerSlam?
I'll say 3.
Okay.
I think it will happen, but I don't think it's a sure thing.
Yeah.
One, I'm saving for the Tom cries seeing Kenny Omega at the Tokyo Dome.
Okay. A women's match, main events of pay-per-view, whether it be WWE or AEW.
I'm gonna go to 4.
Okay.
Shit, this sucks.
I don't think it does. I think you kind of like where I go the rest of the way. And I think you've got your. So what do you have? 1 and 5 open?
I have, which is awful. I have 1 and 5.
Okay. So you didn't watch World's End last night.
I didn't watch, but I read all of the results.
Okay.
In each match.
So my next one is Margaret and Steve see a 6-match classic in Texas. Omega, Okada, all in.
Yeah, number 1.
I thought you'd like that.
I saw it, and here's my reasoning behind it. Because I saw clips of Kenny coming out, and JP pointed out in the group chat, Kenny's got his long hair.
Yep.
Extensions are in.
Yep.
It's
just a ponytail of extensions.
It's fucking New Japan Kenny time, and it's something we've not really gotten since AEW.
Yep.
We've gotten glimpses of it. And I think it's going to be New Japan Kenny time. And I think that at All In against Okada, it's going to get real dicey. It's going to have a lot of the Young Bucks get involved and all that shit. And then who comes out and saves the day? Who comes out and saves the motherfucking day? Kota goddamn Ibushi.
I just think it will happen because Kenny's handing Okada the title. They're running their mouths back and forth, but they just so conveniently have the All In Texas sign right behind them. Like the poor man's WrestleMania sign. I'm like, oh, how convenient. They're standing in a corner.
Yeah.
So that's my thought there. So then you have what? Number 5 left?
Number 5 might not gonna happen.
Okay. Number 5 for Tom. Number 1 for some. Shane McMahon is All Elite.
Oh. Yeah, I think
it's not a bad ranking what you have there.
It's not, so I've got definite Omega Okada. Then I have Cena wins the title.
Yep.
Then I have Rock versus Roman. Then I have women's main event. And then Shane McMahon is All Elite. I think I would just swap women's main event and Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
Because I think the top 3 I'm pretty set are going to happen.
Yeah.
The
Ryan May and Tony Storm are not from Australia, correct?
New Zealand. No? Australia.
Are they both Australian?
AEW going to Australia?
They're doing Grand Slam in February, I believe.
Well, there it is.
But that's not a pay-per-view. I think that's just Dynamite. So
okay. I want a women's main event because I do think that it's I do think it can happen.
Unpopular opinion.
Well. And I think it would, yeah.
Unpopular opinion, Mercedes Moné is not a great wrestler. Chris Statlander really is. Okay? Stop saying that, Mercedes finally had a great match. No. She was in there with a great opponent.
Well, and JP pointed out too in the group chat, the Patreon chat, that Mercedes had a match in Japan, and JP's like that very well could have been match of the year. Women's match of the year. If Mercedes has an opponent who can hold Mercedes up and do the job well,
Mercedes
looks really good.
Yep.
She is not really good.
She's not.
But she can look really good if she's got the right dance partner.
Yep.
Becky, Bailey,
Charlotte.
Like, name other standout matches she's had in WWE. Like, seriously.
Hear that quiet, everyone? Also, quick note, speaking of World's End, if you haven't, go check out friend of the broadcast whom I bought action figures from, Mabel Toys. He and his friend are right next to Christian Cage in the suite when they pan to him during the main event. You'd see Andrew and his friend there. His friend's in a Miami Heat jersey, and it's pretty awesome. He put it on his Instagram. It's pretty awesome. So
that's awesome.
Check out Mabel Toys. Support Mabel Toys because Mabel Toys is a goddamn model citizen.
Yeah.
I like that.
Can we talk about World's End?
Sure.
It seemed like from the group chat, it was a very good pay-per-view overall.
It was. AEW doesn't put on, I don't think, bad pay-per-views.
They put on.
I think they just build to them quite poorly.
$50, but from the websites I was on, most of the matches got a very good grade. Yeah. As far as nitpicking little pieces, the finish in the Mercedes match, whoever followed the Ricochet Ospreay match, I think it was.
It's a Tijuana street fight.
Yeah, of like, how do you follow? Like, yep. Or not Ricochet Okada, I guess. I don't know. Or the Ospreay. I don't remember.
Yep.
Because I didn't watch. Would you say best AEW pay-per-view of the year? Or actually, no, here's a better question. Adam Copeland being the comeback big surprise at the end. Was that a big enough payoff? Does it make sense?
Here's the thing. I love Edge, Adam Copeland. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I don't get excited for him in AEW for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. There's just it doesn't feel like it's him. Like, go back to the 2020 Royal Rumble, which will be 5 years ago in a month. But like that reaction, was like, this is why I love wrestling. For moments like this, made me feel something.
Mm-hmm.
And he came back like, but I didn't
Yeah, for me, again, not having watched it, but saw Twitter and all that shit. Yep. For me, rated FTR going against Moxley and company doesn't make as much sense because rated FTR were all WWE guys.
Yep.
So it's like, why are we adding another story to the story? It doesn't make sense. It was making sense when it was Mox and them and company going against AEW originals.
Yep.
I don't know why we're now getting Edge and FTR.
I'll say this part of it also that may have just stung. It's like one of those, and I know we joke about this on our Patreon chat. We joke about it with the poll that we put up, and obviously Nick's love of Shane McMahon. Nick is watching the Commanders football game right now, which I'm heavily vested in because I'm a Buccaneers fan. But so I see Shane McMahon going to AEW as a legitimate possibility. And it's one of those, I fantasy book it so logically in my head that if it doesn't happen, I'm like, it's not exact. If Shane McMahon pops up in All Elite, I'm like,
it makes sense. It makes sense for Shane to be All Elite. It does.
So, it's one of those things where it just kind of was like, it's not what I booked, so it's not the best. And is it better than that sort of thing? And also I think it's just one of those things where I guess the main event to an extent was nobody thinks Moxley's losing this title, so why should I be invested in it? Whereas literally, I think we all said, I had pitched in the beginning of the group chat, I was like, yeah, it's probably going to be Fletcher versus Okada. Fletcher wins, right? And then it was Ospreay. I'm like, whoa, that was different. Also, we also just talked about Will Ospreay gets busted open in the first match. Doesn't have a match for about 2 hours. Still has fucking crusty, bloody wraps on, still had blood on his face. 2 hours? You couldn't get a fucking wet cloth and clean that shit off? You couldn't reach. Also, just sitting around with that tape on for 2 hours must
That's
have been
gross.
extremely uncomfortable. I'm like,
Gross.
how'd you come out with that? Like, you do that for safety and health reasons.
I didn't know that there were people having multiple matches that night. I had no
I
idea.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't really watch. I didn't watch Dynamite, or I never watched Collision, but I didn't even get to watch Dynamite this past week, so I didn't know like that they were doing 2 matches at the Continental Class or 3 matches, because last year was just the finals of the Continental Classic.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's different. It is different, but
I lost my hair tie.
I'll say this, and my biggest gripe is that they always do too many matches. I think there was 7, 8, 9 matches on on World's End main card. I didn't watch any of the pre-show, but I mean, it didn't feel rushed, as I always, my biggest. It was probably their best paced show from my
because the Young Bucks weren't on it.
Very fair, but like so many times I've seen like 1, 2, 3, yeah, he wins. All right, coming up next, I'm like, geez, Louise.
Yeah.
They had interview segments between stuff. I liked it.
Yeah. It's I'm excited for Wrestle Kingdom, obviously, just because it's Wrestle Kingdom.
And it's a Saturday.
It is a Saturday and a Sunday. And I'm really excited for the AEW Wrestle Dynasty.
That is Sunday the 5th at 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
Yeah. That one looks really enticing to me.
Okay.
Do you know if you get it on New Japan World, if you get both?
I have no idea, quite honestly.
Because I do not want to spend $50 on Wrestle Dynasty.
I'm curious if Triller TV will have it. Because I'll say
isn't it still $50 on there?
Well, I think it was like, I think she spent 60 and got both shows. They did a combo for Full Gear and World's End.
I think it's on New Japan World.
Okay.
Both events available on Triller.
Well, there you go. See if they have a combo.
I don't want to pay for it. I want to pay $9 and get New Japan World.
Oh, do you have a subscription?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you, Tom.
I don't know.
Nobody
I think
does.
that it would make sense because then it's going to benefit New Japan, which the relationships really only benefited AEW.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. Hopefully New Japan people go over in this show.
Yeah.
Because, like we've seen in the previous Forbidden Doors, it's been all elite. So, folks, let us know what your major predictions are for 2025. Let us know your blind ranking. Let us know what's the worst venue you've ever watched at. Are you a wrestling fan? Do you like Broadway shows?
No.
Like Tom, you would have had to buy 3 rows worth of seats in this theater.
I'm very tall.
You were very tall. So I also feel bad for the people behind me because I think they had to get boosters legit because I'm so tall, because I'm 6'1", sitting in the seat. And I'm not like I can't slouch down any bit, I'm just kind of stuck in there. So my fucking hip hurts today, my calf hurts. I'm beat up from going to the theater. So it's rough.
I took a bath tonight.
Oh, did you?
And spoke with a friend about that, and they said, "Oh man, you got to really squeeze in there because you're so tall."
Well, it was actually an outdoor. It was a pool.
And then I was sent this picture of Danny Tanner from Full House.
Why am I thinking that was Squid Game?
And then because he's wearing an Adidas tracksuit. Hello.
Hello.
I go,
take a fucking walk.
I go, is that me? They go, you're almost as tall as Danny Tanner. I go, yeah, I'm taller. I'm so tall. Yes, Tom. Yes.
Love it. Also, folks, let us know what your thoughts on Squid Games are. As of recording, Tom's on episode 3. I finished with Danielle today, so yeah, it is interesting. So let us know what your thoughts on there are. So yeah, until next time, Happy New Year from the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast. Thank you for another awesome year. We are excited to enter calendar year number 5, doing the
I hope your
broadcast.
2025 is as better and good as my 2024 ended up being. I don't.
Let's go, baby.
Shaka.
Let's go.
Oh, I am Hawaii. I'm Jeff Cobb.
So yes, don't forget, like us on Facebook, follow us on
I can't do it
Instagram.
on this hand.
Twitter's still a thing. Touchdown Washington Commanders. Shout out Nick. And yeah, prowrestlingtees.com/the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast. Patreon.com. You can get the Royal Rumble is right around the corner, folks. In a month from the day after this airs, the Royal Rumble is coming. You can win a t-shirt. You can get a shot of the crown. DDJ is going to defend the crown of the Rumble. It's going to be a lot of fun. So get in on that action. So yeah, guys, we'll see you next year. So on behalf of myself and Tom and Nick, go Commanders. Don't forget to tell your mother you love her every day because like Kevin Durant said, Mom, you're the real MVP. Good night, everyone. Happy New Year. And God bless America.
There was one New Year's where I was really depressed. I was at a party and I didn't want to be there, so I left and I watched 4 seasons of The Simpsons. When I got home, it was the best New Year's.